Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium. I predict politics, among other things. As a matter of fact, actually, I have a class this weekend that I'm teaching that I'm inviting you to join me and my good friend Afefe Tahemba on awakening the power of your soul's purpose. Yes, I know politics is insane, and I know our country is really struggling right now. But every day you get up. Hopefully you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you go to work or you go to the store or you do some things, meaning you're living regardless of whatever is happening in the White House. Every day you show up because you signed up to this gig as a human. So I'm offering a class that can help you get through this by understanding your power of your soul's purpose. It's $37. It is tomorrow. It's this weekend. If you sign up, you get the class recording so you can watch it at any time. Okay. You can find it on my website, susanlynnmedium.com. Now let's get started because I have something important to tell you. And that is that things are looking rather bad. The spirit guides just said ugly for the felon, for the imposter in the White House. Okay. Now let me explain what's going on. What's going on is that he's got a lot of enemies. A lot of people are now upset with him. Now you would say, sure, Susan, right? Like nothing has happened yet, right? Like, so we all protested, we all did our thing. How come nothing has happened to people are upset with him? And you might be saying, well, the MAGAs love him. Okay, let me hold your hand while I say this and break it to you gently that in the great scheme of things, the MAGAs and us, well, we're not big enough, powerful enough energy to flip this situation quickly. But guess who is? The American oligarchs are that kind of powerful, and they're getting just walloped, right? Target is getting walloped. I mean, Tesla's down 71%, I think, year over year. It's not good. The stock market, it looks like a junkie on Skid Row. When it gets a hit, a feed, it gets something in its system, it's shooting up high. And then guess what? It crashes and burns. Add to that the dollar, the actual dollar. Okay, so the stock market is too crazy. I'm going to put my money safe in a bond, government bond. Oh no, honey, that is also not safe. So what you see is a raging fire on all fronts. And who does it affect even more so than you or me? Well, it affects people like Jamie Dimon, who is the president or CEO or the god of Chase Bank. And for some reason, the spirit guides have been talking a lot about him to me. And I know that he is not happy with this situation, right? The money people own everything. They own the media, they own Congress. Ever since Citizens United, it took a deep turn towards caca land. But really, this started after Eisenhower when he warned us. President Eisenhower warned us, be careful of the military industrial complex. After that, we were the nation decided we're going to have for-profit healthcare. A lot of other nations, Canada being one of them, decided, no, we think this should be part of the taxed monies that people pay. We should take a greater role in taking care of our citizens. Not America. America said, nope, nope, nope. We are going to allow the free market to dictate what happens. Well, here we are. The free market is about to dictate 245 what is going to happen because they cannot withstand this pressure on their bank, on their money, on their livelihood. They're losing, the spirit guides just told me these CEOs are losing generational wealth. Okay, generational. Their great grandkids are going to be affected by the money they're losing now. Now, I know you don't have to yell at me because I know I happen to not be a millionaire or a billionaire. So guess what? I get it. You're like, they have too much money, they'll never spend it. But let me just tell you something. Once you have something, you want to keep it. Once you have your house, you want to keep it. You don't want to lose it. You don't want the value in your house to drop by 50%. So it's the same for them. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's crazy. It's probably actually a medical psychiatric diagnosis. But anyway, they see all those zeros and they're like, I want to keep all these zeros after that number. And they don't want to lose it. Especially what I'm getting is especially for no reason. Like, so let's say they were being taxed more and they lost some money. They could say to themselves, well, my great grandkids are going to grow up in a country that is better, more humane. You know, they can at least see something for their money, right? And you know, if they're getting taxed more, they're going to have those phone numbers where they can, you know, hey, I'm paying this higher taxes. I need you to cut me this deal on these regulations. So everything is a business transaction for them. And in this situation, they're getting nothing. They made a lot of money. They made a deal with the devil, and now they're losing it all. Plus, they're actual pariahs in their own country and in the world. And this is all together, this is untenable. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I finally put enough of all the pieces together. And it's not just me. These are astrologers that I've had on. These are people in my membership community who are like, hey, Susan, I saw this. All this data, including the data from my spirit guides, it's all starting to make sense. And here's where I think we are. This happens to be April 25th. I feel like what I'm getting from the spirit guides and what I'm getting from Jamie Dimon and from other CEO energies is that they feel like they have a rare opportunity. And when I say rare, what I mean fleeting. Let's change it to fleeting. It's not rare, but it's temporary. And the opportunity is before Congress goes out on their summer break and before the Supreme Court goes out on their summer break, they have an opportunity to make some phone calls, to twist some arms, whatever they're doing behind the scenes. You can only imagine, because they own a lot of these people. I would insist that Putin and some other bad actors that are not American own a lot of those people too. But the ones that can be brought back to the American oligarchs, those are the ones they're going to be targeting. And when I say the ones, I mean Congress, and I mean SCOTUS, or the Supreme Court. So right now, what I feel like is happening is what the guides are saying is there is a concerted effort. There was another word, a concerted and kind of like the word direct effort to encumber or to gather or to be able to count on your side a number of these people that would then push forward in May into June impeachment and or 25th Amendment or some, whatever. They don't even care. They're like, just do it. So because this is why it's fleeting. This is why this is so important. If they, you know, they always have that saying that I never heard until we had a king. Now that we have a king, we've all heard it. If you're going to take aim for the king, you better not miss. You only have one option. You only have one arrow in your quiver to do this. And it's not going to be easy, because when I look at it, this is what they show me. If you've ever been on a boat that's rocking and rolling and you're trying to walk, not very easy, right? If you're ever think about trying to thread a needle while you're on a roller coaster. Think about even trying to take a drink while you're on a roller coaster. Really hard. This is the landscape they're showing me. And they're still going to do it. They're still going to try it. But the target is bobbing and weaving and dipping and rolling. Very hard to get radar lock on the target and get this done. But they feel so strongly that if they have to go through the summer, because your fleeting moment is Congress is out for the summer, whatever their recess is, Well, SCOTUS is out for an even longer recess, I think. I mean, so you're looking at, let's say, 3 months with potentially no recourse. And the bankers, the business people, whoever they are, they're saying we can't, like, we don't know if we can survive 3 months. Or really what they're saying is we don't want to. They're really saying we don't want this. And these people are used to snapping their finger, and whatever they want, they get. So there's not a sense that they can't survive it. It's a sense that they choose not to survive it. And they're going to put whatever pressure they can on these people to move this forward, to take him out. I feel like this could happen in May. It could bleed over into June. When I was doing my live video a few days ago with my friend Afefe, who's touched by tarot here on YouTube, we both got an interim government. Now, we'll also say that this is something that even way back when, I'm talking a whole year ago, back when Biden was president, that me and Kevin's Loving Vibrations got the same thing. Looking into the future, we said there seems to be some sort of delay around the White House. There's this period of time around the White House where there's no one there, or it's just weird. We couldn't understand it, right? And I did a video not that long ago that talked about the White House being empty. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. The energy is there, it doesn't go away. It just finds ways to manifest that might surprise you. So it can manifest in any way it wants. So what I'm getting right now, and I'm not saying this is 100%, because if you think about it, right, we talked about being on a rolling ship and trying to take aim at something. This isn't going to be easy. This is not a surgical, thing. This is difficult. And there's so many external forces that are causing it to be more difficult. But I feel like they're going to show their hands. That's the other thing, right? Once these people come out, once these Republicans come out and join Democrats and start impeachment process, well, now we got a game, don't we? Yeah, because everybody knows who's who, and they're going to start getting threats. They're going to start getting blackmailed. They're going to start, it's going to be mayhem. Okay. Then that's just the beginning. Then when he gets voted in Congress, impeached, it goes to the Senate to be convicted. If you recall, he was impeached before, but the Senate didn't have the spine, the balls, or the ovaries to finish the job. So this is what they're working on right now, is some senators. Now, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to add any more problems. I'm looking at this, even if it drug into July. Now, here's how it could drag into July. Now, let's back up a minute, because let's say all that happens. Let's say that he gets impeached by Congress, or by, the House, and convicted by the Senate. It's a two-part thing. Well, he's got to leave. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I remember the last time he was supposed to leave. It didn't go down too well. So you go back to that video I did where he's fled the White House. Florida is not safe enough for him. I think he wants to go to another country. I've done videos way back when, maybe right after the election, where I said he wants to be a president in exile. This is all, the energy doesn't die. It just keeps trying to manifest in different ways. So yeah, he would love to be a president in exile. Why? Because he could still get grift from all his MAGAs. I've been run out of the United States by crooks, and you need to send me money, and me and my kids are over here, and we need help, and you need to take over. You can imagine that would be a powerful position for him, because if he's in a country that doesn't extradite to the United States, he's caused another constitutional crisis. Our president has fled. Our president has been convicted and impeached, but still says they're the president, and is still trying to mount an army which is something the guides always say to you guys, right? So this is a big old mess, right? Or the other thing that I've gotten more recently is he goes to some place like Arkansas. I don't know why Arkansas. It could be anywhere, it could be Missouri. It just feels like a place no one would look for him. You know what I mean? And it has this feeling of Osama bin Laden, of hiding out in a cave. Now, maybe he's at, the Howard Johnson's, or maybe, to him, that would be a cave, right? Maybe he's at, the Days Inn on the freeway. I don't know. Again, a place no one would ever look for him, right? The first place we're all going to be looking is at McDonald's. He's going to be at the Days Inn, someplace we would never, ever think he would be. So this is the energy around May and June and a little bit into July. Now, this could manifest in all different kind of ways, right? Like he could be taken out to the great McDonald's in the sky. There's energy around that as well, especially this weekend, where he's going to visit the funeral of the Pope. So there's just a lot of energy around him being separated from his power. That's what they're saying to me. Again, that energy can manifest in a lot of different ways. Now, let's say that he somehow dodges all of that, because we've seen it. We've seen him dodge things. He's slippery than an eel. We've seen him dodge so many things, right? So let's say that 5%, 10% I give him, 10% that I give him, 90% he gets removed from his power in whatever way that is. 10% he hangs on to his power, meaning hang on to the White House specifically. The problem with that is these business leaders have been outed. They've shown their hand, and he will go for their jugular while there's no recourse, right? Like Congress is out, SCOTUS is out. Who's going to stand up for these? He's going to really, what I'm hearing is inflict pain. And I think what that means is then he turns up the tariffs. He turns up the attacks on these companies. We've all seen him attack companies. He'll attack them any way he can. He'll take government funds from them. He's going after Act Blue right now, which is the kind of fundraising arm of the Democrats. He wants to shut them down. I mean, this is a tyrant. This is a bully. This is a authoritarian regime at this point, a 10-pot despot. So nobody wants to lose their money like a billionaire. Okay. So they've got a lot to lose. And I think they're going to be leading the charge here in getting rid of him. And I've said in videos, I see them, these billionaires, sitting down at the table with the Democrats or whatever coalition we come up with, and saying, okay, uncle, what do we need to do to make this all go away? Like, what do we need to do to bring peace to the land, so to speak? And that's why I tell you guys, it's important that we stay involved and we stay continually calling our representatives and senators and saying, what do you want? Do you want better, more Social Security, more disability? Saying you don't have a voice is admitting defeat in advance. This is an opportunity that the billionaires are saying, we're ready to make a deal. For the love of God, let's go in there and ask for everything and then some. Then the last thing I want to tell you is this is a very dicey situation with America, with your neighbors, perhaps with your own family members, because we didn't pull it off in a sense that these MAGAs haven't had enough pain yet. They just haven't. And I don't think we're going to get to that point. We're not going to get to the point where they've had so much pain that they're like, wow, okay, I woke up and I see where you're coming from. And now all of a sudden I hate this orange turd, right? Instead, the billionaires woke up and they're screaming for mercy first. So they, with their indomitable powers, what the guides are saying, they're going to flip the table. They're going to flip the switch. They're going to get rid of this regime. But that doesn't help your uncle MAGA or your neighbor MAGA or your boss MAGA. That doesn't help the MAGAs at all. As a matter of fact, they have been wounded. They have been done wrong. And now they're going to fight. Okay. So I think this summer could be really dramatic and spicy. And I don't know, out of control. The guides are calling it out of control. The way I was hoping this would end was differently, was enough pain shared amongst us that we all woke up together. And not all, I'm not, all of them are not all going to wake up. But I was hoping that, say, 10% of the brain-addled cult, fine. But the rest of them, the other 20% would be like, yeah, we need something different. That's not happening. So now we're going to have, say, 30% of them being real problems in our communities. And this could be cops. This could be, your local mayor. And in Texas, it could be our governor and our lieutenant governor, who are still trying to pass laws to hurt their citizens. So even though we get rid of this orange slime ball and we have an interim government of some kind, because that's what I see. I don't see Vance in there for any length of time. I mean, not more than months. I don't see Johnson in there because they're all criminal. They're all going to be brought up in the same net. So, and I'd like to say that we come to some real recognition and understanding and acceptance that it was rigged and stolen. And then we just say, well, since it was, and we can prove it, because I think we can prove it, we should give it back to the rightful winner, which would be Kamala Harris. I've told you guys, 40%. I have not changed my mind on that. There's 40% chance that happens. There's 40% chance that maybe we don't even prove it. Maybe there's just enough hue and cry that this is what we're doing. Again, if we install Kamala Harris, you can only imagine what your MAGA friends are going to do. They're going to be armed and dangerous. So this summer could be very kind of I see like sparklers, like little explosions, just frantic energy. Okay. Now that also, if you watched me for a long time, that also completes her destiny, because I saw when Biden actually picked her as VP that her destiny was to be president over a divided country. And I told you guys, she's going to put the right in jail. She's going to put the left in jail. And I know she doesn't put anybody in jail, but I'm here to tell you, she's not going to stick up for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're the biggest Democrat of the Democrats. If you break a law, she's not going to stand for you. She's going to look the other way. And that's going to make the Democrats mad, because they're going to feel like we're not in the wrong. But she's very fair. Okay. So you can imagine that it's heated and people are feeling like justice is on my side. And she's like, well, that will be left up to a court of law. Okay. So that makes sense for her destiny. But I don't know how this energy is going to manifest. Are we going to have an interim government where it's a Republican and a Democrat? Some kind of coalition government to see us through this rocky time. And if that's the case, what Republican would even be respected by the MAGAs? Because they're not Republicans, they're MAGAs. They're cult members. So this is kind of, it's good, right? Like, it's great. Like, we would all be out celebrating, except for I'm telling you to be very careful, because if this goes down, they're able to get this done, get what they want done. We would want to celebrate. But there's a whole faction of people that are going to think that you just robbed them and you are not a patriot. And so you could really put yourself at risk. So I want you to hear that and just frankly, keep your head down. Keep your head down. You know, that's what we've been telling you for a long time, right? Because we need to come out the other side of this and be able to rebuild our country. Now, this whole spiciness, I feel like it culminates either in June or July. And there's a lot of astrology that kind of pairs with this. I feel like we come out of the summer in a better position, in a better mood and better energy. There's still some hurt feelings. There's definitely some contingents that are upset, but overall, whatever happens in May, June, July, it boils and we get it out of our system, or at least, I like to tell you guys duality. That's what I'm telling you. Please understand the metaphysics, understand the spirituality of what's happening. The duality is, 45 wants a police state. But I've told you for a year that we are likely to have a police state, and Kamala Harris is likely to be the president during the police state because we have to put up guardrails. And I told you last year, we're going to have less freedom of speech. Because look what happened to Mexico. MAGAs, whoever they are, bought all this commercials that ran on Mexican TV and saying that Mexicans were rapists and, that disinformation, misinformation meant to cause harm, meant to separate the people. The president of Mexico came out and said, no, we're going to cancel all those ads and we're going to block you from ever doing it again. We have to take control of our media so that we can steward ourselves through this. So I feel like whoever comes in this interim situation in the late fall is going to have to knock some heads together. It's going to have to really say, during this 3-month time or 6-month time or whatever it is, we're going to institute some very strong laws or very strong curfews. But I honestly think most of us are going to be okay with it. I really do, because when you've had a president running amok and there's no laws and everything is a grift, you almost welcome those tighter controls, which is duality. He's trying to be the authoritarian and tighten the controls. But we end up with a Democrat tightening the controls from a different perspective, but all the same, less freedoms. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, so pay attention as this all unfolds and let's just see how the energies are able to work through the various free will. I mean, we've got hundreds and hundreds of people in the administration and all around that have free will, that are jockeying, that are trying to make this outcome work for them. But the way I'm seeing it right now, money is king. And if you got somebody like Jamie Dimon who controls more money than Musk, everybody keeps saying Musk is the most wealthy man. I've never thought so. I think he's leveraged. I think he's got so many loans out. He doesn't have the power that somebody that runs Chase Bank has, okay? Or somebody that runs even, I hate to say it, but Google or Meta. These people have this kind of power that Musk doesn't have. He's a lackey. So when they say jump and they say, I can cover you to that congressperson, you're getting death threats, I'll give you $20,000 a day. I'll donate $20,000 a day for your safety. I'll give you a tank. You know what I mean? Like that kind of care, because that's where we are. We have the mob. And if 45 says to his minions, like he does, oh, this person's not a good person, this person doesn't like me, then his minions rush over there and all of a sudden they get attacked. But if you've got a strong supporter that's got enough money to protect you, then you can vote the way either you want to or the way they want to. So the guides are saying there's a new sheriff in town, and it ain't 45 and it ain't Musk. Okay, so that's what I think is likely to happen. Again, there's a percentage, it's not 100%. There's no 100% here. This is not 100% land. We do not live in 100% land. We live in free will land. Every day you can decide what you're going to have for breakfast. You can decide for your own self. Are you going to break a law today? Yeah, that's on you. You make that decision. We have free will here. But the way our society is set up, money tends to be king and queen, and the money people have seen enough, and they're ready to pull the plug on this clown show. So that's what I think is going to happen. So hang on to your hats. We'll know in about 3 to 4 weeks, specifically mid-May. Now, I did say in a video I don't know, time and when I'm channeling has no meaning, but I did say May 18th for some reason. So there could be something around the 13th or the 18th or the 25th, right in that middle of May time, could be a time where you see some action. Now, if you see action, for it to be successful, it has to be super quick. Like if you see it getting bogged down, like if you see impeachment proceedings start and then it gets bogged down, it's not going to work. The way we're going to know if successful is if it happens, boom, 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 like in a week, like boom, it's done, and boom, it goes into the Senate. The only way to get this done is to make it happen very quickly. If it gets bogged down, it's done. He'll worm his way out of it. We've seen it. Your Honor, just give me a delay of 24 hours. 24 hours later, he's out of it. If you give this man any room to delay, he will find a way out of it. That's why it's got to be quick. It's got to be surgical, quick, but with a moving, crazy target. Okay? So anyway, you've been caught up. I'm going to end this video here. We'll see you again really soon. If you're interested in class, you can go to Susan Lynn Medium down below. And also, I have a free community. Join it. Find people like you. Hang out with people like you. It is free. Literally free. It is not on Facebook. It is not on YouTube. It is mine. And you can also find those communities in my website, SusanLynnMedium.com. Don't forget, I have a new YouTube channel, Susan Lynn Spiritual Way Shower, which is all my spiritual topics are over there, because this channel is getting some pressure from the censors. And so the guides told me, who knows, you might not be able to keep your channel. Your channel might disappear. So you might want to open a new channel. So if you're here, please subscribe, comment, like, share, so that I can continue getting this message out there. Let me know your thoughts. I always love to hear them. Take really good care of yourself, and I'll see you again really soon. For entertainment purposes only,